a person that's right there with you or somebody that's looking out from afar. We always talk about people looking for at us, people watching our every move. So if people are watching our every move and they looking at us, then we supposed to make sure that for righteousness' sake we apply what's right. So now it says, "Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal bodies." Stop allowing wrongdoing to be there and to take root and be embedded and planted in you. You got to do some pruning. You got to do some plucking up. That's why I'm always saying, listen, always do a self examination. What are you dealing with? What are you doing? You got to prune your garden. In order for your garden to be beautiful, flowers growing, looking nice. Have you ever seen a garden? It was just so pretty. Nothing in there dead. Shaped up, cut right, falling right, flowers blooming. Nothing in there is dead. That's because whomever they took the time to pick out the dead leaves, to pick up whatever is falling off, clean it, straighten it out. That's the work that we must do to our spirit. We got to prune ourselves. Like, you know what? Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. Let me not do this. Let me not do that. We got to do that for ourselves, for righteousness' sake, because we set an example. So now, when we not letting sin reign, take dormant and be there, because during pride, remember, the moment that you get proud and you do not allow somebody to step in to make your car strong, you have just begun to sin. And it's just a matter of time what's going to come next, what's going to come about, what is going to begin to manifest and grow in your spirit, in your spirit, in your thought process first and foremost. And once it grows in your thought process, it's going to come into an action. You're going to begin to be that way. You, without you having to do anything, you're going to walk that way. And a lot of people, we try our best to make up, disguise, in other words, that's what I mean. But the makeup, Maybelline, we try to disguise our inner feelings. You can't disguise your inner feelings. There's no way you can do that. So now, it says, "Let not sin reign therefore in your mortal bodies, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof." You begin to follow that lust. You begin to follow that sin in the disguisement. It'll trick you. It'll make you think that you're doing what's right. But there's a thin line. What's that thin line? That thin line of, you know what? We want to straddle with what's right, and I don't think nothing is wrong with that. When we have to be full fledged into what's right. So lose this. Go back to, did we finish First Peter 3? First Peter 3. You should have said hurt right here and you right there. It's okay. All right. All right. 1 Peter 3 and read 14 from the top again for me.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 14. And if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye.
Happy are ye. Go ahead.
And be not afraid of their terror.
And be not afraid of their terror. Who is their terror? Who is their terror? And be not afraid of their terror. Who is their terror? You know how the scriptures tell us, love not the world, right? What part of loving not the world we have to separate from? The desires, the lusts, those come through what?
Loving the world. I mean, being attached to
The love of the world come through what?
people.
People. So now it says, and be not afraid of their terror. Who's there?
The people that's in the
The
world.
people that's in the world. And neither be troubled. The terror comes when they speak evil, say different things, talk bad, make you feel some type of way. Because you're not doing the exact same things as they doing. You have now become different. You're not supposed to be afraid to let it go, to be different, to do the opposite. Why is that? Because we're trying to let the righteousness of the Lord come out and shine, right? So now, Isaiah 8. Isaiah 8 in verse 11.
Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people.
So now, the same way with us, we are instructed to walk away from a lot of people. Why is that?
Because they in the midst of sin.
In the midst of sin. That's right. And what are you trying to do?
Seek the kingdom.
Seek the kingdom. What'd you say? Be righteous. What else? Say it again. Not sin. You trying to do the opposite. But they in the midst of sin. They take pleasure in sin. And you trying to walk away from sin so that you can be righteous and so that you can get the kingdom. So now those things you gotta be aware of within yourself. You're like, you know what? Let me do what's right. So it says, for the Lord spake thus unto me with a strong hand. The Lord speak strongly unto us when it comes to the scriptures that's telling you this is the way that we supposed to be. This is how we supposed to walk. This is how we supposed to respond. These are the attributes that we supposed to have. This is the way we supposed to be as women, as individuals, as sisters, as mothers, as daughters of Christ. So now it says, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people. Don't get caught up in the lust and the things that you see that everybody around you is taking so much pride in, happiness in, quote unquote, fun in. Because at the end, there's a reward for everything.
We got a problem. Don't run water. Can't use the bathroom.
Okay.
So we'll talk about the class.
Verse 12.
Say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid.
Why? What's the Confederacy? A confederacy is like an elite, an alliance of people gathering together. A lot of times we get caught up with the alliance of friends that we may have or we may have had in the world. It's a lot of them. And a lot of them may come up and oppose what you have learned and what you have been taught and what you are doing. And so now you try to bring that back to friends and say, hey, this is right. This is what we're going to do. This is what's right. But because they don't start to do family, don't do what you do, but because they don't take flight and take, hold to what you're saying, then it causes you to feel some type of way. The Lord's like, don't do that. It's forbidden by law to do it. So now, it says, a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. They come up with certain things. Oh, I don't, you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. You don't have to act this way and be this way. And it causes you to begin to doubt things in your mind and doubt how you feel. And, now makes you become a hermit crab. Now you got to pull back and you're like, because of something. Do you not know that that's Satan trying to pull you back from something he was trying to take you away from? That the Most High was trying to take you away from. The Most High trying to take you away from the world to put you inside of righteous realm on what he like, listen, this is how I want you to be. If you look at yourself and everybody around you, like everybody in here feel like they are strong individuals, right or wrong.
Right.
So if you feel like you're a strong individual, you're like, you know what? I'm my own person. I can hold my own. I can stand on my own. So if the Lord brought you out of the world, you're like, you know what? You are a strong individual. Let me take your confidence and build it righteously. Now, if you are a strong individual and you have the power and might to persuade someone else, you need to learn to persuade them according to scripture, according to what's right. Because he brought you in here to do a job, and that's your job. You got to be able to stand strong for what's right so that you can help somebody else and be like, you know what? Remember all the friends that you had, all the people. How did you get those people? Being friendly, talking to them. You have something to give, right?
Having things in common.
Having things in common. So now you have to show them that the things that you all have to have in common is it has to be according to the scripture so that you can show them that this is the right path that they should be on. But what happens when they, don't accept the things that you say or they don't approve of the things that you are telling them? Then that means that wasn't meant for that person. You got to keep moving. But a lot of times we take that and allow our faith to now diminish and waver and be weakened. And then through the deception of Satan and the lust of what we want to do, of not putting away the old person, we fall prey to the devices that they have. And we're not supposed to do that. Verse 13.
Sanctify the word, the Lord of hosts himself.
Like, sanctify the Lord. Praise the Lord himself. And let him, go ahead.
And let him be your fear.
What about the Lord are you supposed to fear?
Judgment.
The judgments. You're like, you know what? This is the fear. So now if you think, okay, now we got the judgments. Have you ever seen somebody that look like that they are stuck?
Like
mentally, emotionally. When we think about a person that's being stuck, think about a person that has some type of addiction, like a drug addiction. They seem to be stuck, like they can't get over. They can't get over that. They can't get over that hurdle. A lot of our people are stuck. So we got to be able to show them how to get over it. So it says, and let him be your fear. Lord, you know what? I don't want to be stuck. What seems to be clear to you, think about those that's not accepting it, that don't see it, that stumble. They stuck. The Most High have not given them the ability to see what you see. Why would we mess that up with the pride of life, with stumbling, with tempting, falling through temptation? Because we're looking at temptation in a different format. We got to learn to look at temptation and be happy because the Most High has given you the ability to stand strong. Do it for righteousness' sake. Because you could be, on the other hand, stuck in a situation that you can't get out of. You can't overcome. You can't foresee. That when we battle with that, that's what we asking for, to put us in a situation to where we can't turn from. That's what you cry for. We're not to cry for that. We supposed to fear the God, fear the Most High. Go ahead. Let him be our fear. Go ahead.
Let him be your dread.
Let the Most High be your dread. Where they think is fun, they are stuck in that fun and they're going to get judged in that fun. Now, you, on the other hand, you have an opportunity to do what's right. You have an opportunity to do change, to be better. Take that opportunity that you have and go with it. And stop being sad, depressed, can't get it. Lose this, go back to James 2. I'm sorry, not James 2, James 1. James 1 and 12 again.
James chapter 1 verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed is the man that endured temptation.
Blessed is the man that endured temptation. Go ahead.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
What is the crown of life?
Everlasting life.
Say it again.
Everlasting life.
Everlasting
Eternal
life. Okay. What else? Anybody else?
Is that the salvation?
Hmm?
Is that the salvation?
The salvation. Okay. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. Hold this. Get Revelations 2. The kingdom. All right. Revelations 2 and verse 10.
Revelations chapter 2 and verse 10.
Right. Start at verse 9.
The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation.
2 and 9.
Oh. Revelations chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and temptation
And tribulation.
and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan.
Right. The Lord said, I know thy works and tribulations. He knows the things that you go through. He knows the things that you are enduring. So it says, verse 10.
Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer.
So the things that you're going through, don't fear the things that you're going through. That the things that you have to suffer. Don't fear it. Go through it. The Most High knows that you're going through it. Remember, like I talked to quite a lot of people, and I'm like, listen, you going through everything you go through for a reason. There's something you gotta learn out of that situation. Something you gotta get better. Something the Lord is trying to show you. Either you gotta get better at it or you gotta lose it. Something is either trying to make you a better individual or you gotta purge it. So the things, those tribulations and trials that we go through, everybody afraid to go through it. Why? People be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through temptation. I don't want to go through hard times. Why? Because it hurts. It's a purging. It's something that you're not used to. It's something that you just like, it's out of the ordinary. Like, why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to go through this purging? Why do I have to go through this feeling? Why do I have to feel like this? Why do I have to go through that? It's a reason. You just got to figure out why. You got to figure out what's the purpose. You got to figure out what the Lord is trying to show you. So it says, fear none of those things that you suffer. Go ahead.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
What is a prison?
A place you can't get out of.
A what?
A place you can't get out of.
A place that you cannot get out of. So now, a prison is a situation of difficulty that you can't leave from. So whenever you get into a situation that you cannot get out of, read that again.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
So who has put you in that situation? Who? That's right. How? How did Satan put you in that difficult situation? The moment that you gave place to pride. The moment. Let me erase that word pride, because that right there, that's that harsh word. That word is a little mean. So let me give another word. The moment that you put yourself in a situation to become individualized, I'm this. I don't want to, I'm by myself. I'm a loner. I'm this. I don't need nobody to help me. I'm here. I know how, let me deal with it. When you go into your hermit crab shell, when you don't go ask for advice, when you make decisions on your own, you didn't ask nobody, you fight in situations and you won't ask for help. That cord that has went from a 3 cord to now as thin as some thread that you sew with. Look how easy you're able to snap in situations because you have allowed Satan to enter into your mental space, your thought process, and now he has cast you into a prison, a situation that you can't get out of. So now that you can't get out of it, why can't you get out of it? It's like for all my non-swimmers, I'm learning though. I'm learning. It's like being in a pool on the deep end and you can't feel that bottom. When you can't feel the bottom, you like, hold on, wait a minute. Your mind has now entered into a fight and flight. So then you begin to panic. And then you begin to try everything up under the sun to keep yourself from going under that water. Right? So what happens when you enter into temptation and you're by yourself and you don't have a lifeguard?
You don't drown.
You start doing whatever it takes to keep you from drowning, keep you from suffering. You're like, nope, I'm going to try this. But the lifeguard that you need, you won't accept it. You're like, no, I got this. Now you out drowning in all your mishaps and all your desires and all your lusts and all the things that you have encountered yourself in. Your lifeguard is right next door and they don't even know because you have not spoke up. But through pride, the Most High has evacuated the premises because you gave place to what he told you not to give place to. He gave you the thought process to say, okay, you are now entering into a dead zone. What are you going to do? The temptations, the trials, the situations do not change. Something else should change. What should change? Your reasoning, your answer, the way that you go about your reaction to the situation must change. The situations ain't gonna change. So now, how are you going to react this time? What are you going to do different this time? The Spirit gives you that. What are you going to do? When you disregard that mental thought and you elect to continue the way you want to continue, the Spirit ain't there. And now you have just entered into a prison of Satan. So now, it says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Meaning you're going to go into situations that you can't get out of. Go ahead.
That you may be tried.
That you may be what?
Tried.
Now, you entered into this situation. Now you're being tried. What shall you do? Go ahead.
You shall have tribulations 10 days.
You're going to go through tribulation. Now, how many people have I spoke to and said, let me know when your trials are lasting 2 weeks at a time? That's true. I've been through things, trying tribulations, trying times for weeks at a time.
Years.
Hey, I ain't made it to that point. Some of us have. So if you failing after a day or two, you need to get your game up. You're not gonna last too long. because you're not setting your foundation on what's right. You're not looking to righteousness. You're looking for the moment. When you look to righteousness, you look for righteousness' sake. I got to go through this. Okay, now because I have to go through this, this is not going to let up. This is not going to go anywhere. This is for a reason. Lord, show me what's that reason. Help me see I'm missing something. I'm leaving something out. It's like playing a you know those little puzzle games that they have now where you unlock one thing to get to the next thing, unlock one thing to get to the next thing. You can't get to the next level because you're missing something vital. You're missing a key. You're missing it, and you keep starting over. You're like, damn, okay, maybe I did it wrong. Like Rubik's Cube. I've never figured out Rubik's Cube. I look at it and be like, I ain't gonna never figure that out. It's something to a Rubik's Cube. It's a format. It's a way. There are people that literally knows how to get all the colors to all the colors and all the sides. They're like, you see how they twist it and turn it? It's a way. If you don't endure it, you're not going to get it. If you give in to your way and you make your answer the right answer instead of making the Lord's answer the right answer, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose the way. You're not gonna get it. It's not gonna be there. So now it says, ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Go ahead.
Be thou faithful unto death.
You got to learn to be faithful unto death, but faithful unto who? See, we faithful unto ourselves. We faithful to say, you know what? This me. But we got to learn to be faithful unto the Most High through Yahushua. Go ahead.
And I will give thee a crown of life.
And there is your crown of life. That crown of life is that ability to overcome situations. The ability to get through. The ability, now you have the ability to help somebody else get crowned. Like, you know what? Boom, let me help you. See, we want to jump straight to the kingdom, but there is a lot of situations in between making it there along that path of life that we gotta get the crown. We got the crowning. We got to get the understanding. We got to get that know-how. We got to get that exercise. We got to get that, down pat before we can get to the next. That next crowning, that next ability. It's like being those badges of honor, like boom, I leveled. I did that. It's just like, ain't that what's that's what's behind like the little Boy Scout, Girl Scouts and stuff. That's what the patches for. They have to do certain things to earn those patches. We got to get through certain things to earn those crownings. So, John. John 16 and verse 32. 16 and 32.
St. John chapter 16 and verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own.
Right. Now, behold, the hour come. Yeah, is now come. That time has come that ye shall be scattered. We all over the place. We scattered all over the place. Go ahead. Every man to his own. Go ahead.
And shall leave me alone. And and yet I am not alone.
Right. So now it's gonna come a time everybody is scattered. They doing their own thing. And Christ, he left alone. Man, we ain't picking. You got people who don't pick the Christ. They'll choose their own way. I'm gonna do my thing. This me. Because they see, oh, I see results if I do it this way. Christ, like, I'm left alone. Go ahead.
Because the Father is with me.
He said, yet I'm not alone. Because the Father is with me. Now, we want the Father. We want the Spirit and the help of the Heavenly Father, correct? Verse 33.
These things I have spoken unto you.
Meaning he like, listen, in order to obtain the Father, you got to follow me. Christ said, follow me. Go ahead.
That in me you might have peace.
So if you want peace, we got to follow the Spirit of Christ. So now, during temptations and tests and trials, is there peace?
No.
No. You ain't been at peace. Your spirit is not at peace. Your mental thought process is not at peace. So in order to have that peace, you got to follow Christ. You got to go back to what's right. You got to open up the book. You got to use what's being taught. Christ is going to give you that peace. So when you left alone and you still worrying and having those issues and mental thought processes going on where you fighting mentally, you got to find Christ, because that's where you're going to get your peace. Because right now you have led yourself in the imprisonment of Satan. You stuck at that moment, and in order to get through that, you got to find Christ. In order to get that peace you looking for, you got to find Christ. You got to look for what's right. He in the laws. He's not in the world. He's in the law. He's in the book. If you are surrounding yourself with people that are not after the Spirit of Christ, now be careful, because people say they after the Spirit of Christ. But what do you need to look for? You got to look for their fruits, their actions. You have to try the Spirit by the Spirit. You got to be like, you know what? Did you know this? Measure up to everything that you have been taught. Because the things that you are being taught is according to the law. Are you following what's right? Or are you following your way? Because if you follow your way, you got a problem. You're going to end up in an imprisonment. And it said 10 days. So now, these things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. Go ahead.
In the world ye shall have tribulation.
In the world ye shall have tribulation. When you put yourself to follow the lust of the world and your way and how you see fit and what you see is right, and the ways of this world, it said ye shall have tribulation. Now, what does that have to do with where we came from? Where it says, for righteousness' sake, that fight that you have, if you suffering for righteousness' sake, that means you fighting off, following the world. That means you're fighting off trying to do what's right. The Most High definitely is going to give you the Spirit to overcome. You won't allow Satan to get up on you where you're going to be battling and testing and trying and suffering because you by yourself. It says, in the world ye shall have tribulation. Now, if you having tribulation, you need to think. If you by yourself, you need to think. Go ahead, read.
But be of good cheer.
But be of good cheer. Go ahead.
I have overcome the world.
So if you want to overcome, you got to come to Christ. You got to do what Christ say do. You got to follow the law the way Christ said follow the law. You got to do verbatim. You can't water it down and sugarcoat it with the way you feel is right. You're going to always put yourself in a mental imprisonment. Any questions before I continue on? Destiny, you good? You understand?
I'm good.
Okay. So now, go back to James. James 1 and 12 again.
James chapter 1 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed is the man that endured temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life,
Mm-hmm.
which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
Right. The Lord promised to give to them that he loved the crown of life. But you have to endure temptation. You have to endure the tests and trials that you are going through. That enduring doesn't mean sit there and wait patiently till it's over. You got to fight for it. And in fighting, you got to apply. You got to apply what is given unto you and be happy that you endured and that you did not give place to your own feelings, your own emotions. You didn't take what was given to you, the understanding that was given to you, and you didn't give it. You didn't add your own spin to it, trying to get a rushing result. Because you can do something trying to get a rushing result, and you think that you just made that situation better. And it didn't. It wasn't better because it was still there, and now you add it. It's like adding gasoline to a fire. You made it bigger. So that's what happens when we add our own weight to situations. We make the situation bigger. And now it's like, you're like, man, you know what? This is... And then it's like trying to swim from the ocean. When you finally like, you know what? I know how to swim. Because you got swimmers, right? They like, I know how to swim. That's that pride. You're like, I know what I'm doing. Okay, get on out there. You get out there and start swimming in the ocean. After a while, you get tired. You get fatigued. And that's what happens in these fights. We get tired. We get fatigued because it's not going anywhere. We're not swimming. It's like the shore getting further and further away. Have you ever been on, like, going to the beach? It's a scary situation for me. You know, you're supposed to enjoy it. Like, this is enjoyable. But I like water to a certain extent. Like, if it come past my knees, I'm starting to hyperventilate a little bit. So going to the beach, sitting out there, the water coming, it's coming up, and then it's coming down. Going up and going, you're like, oh, this is cool. Have you ever realized, like, why I feel like I'm further and further away from where I was standing? It, like, literally makes you feel like you're moving. Because the water have that power to pull you. It does. And you're like, come on, let me move on up. You realize you're like, move on up. So now, you out there swimming, you trying it, and you moving further and further away. You think you getting to the shore, but the water pulling you back and back. And you don't even know it, because the waves are just that strong. That's how we sleep on Satan. We're like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Satan like, oh yeah, okay, we'll do this then. Where you think you on the right path and you on the right track, you being pulled further and further away from what's right. Because Satan has now entered that strong hold on you, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing what's right. What are some things that'll have a person think they doing what's right?
May not really judge, could be
Say it again.
They're not getting judged.
Not getting judged quickly. Anybody else?
Prosperity.
Prosperity. What else?
Nobody's saying nothing to them.
Nobody saying nothing to you. What else? That's a given. That's right. Let me bring it down a little bit more simple for you. You still covering your head. You still wearing a skirt. You still observing the Sabbath. You still eating lawful foods. Those little things, you're like, I'm still on the right track. We look for those things to be like, oh, I'm still on the right track. Not knowing your spirit gone. You're not responding lawfully. You're not dealing lawfully. You dealing in deceit. You dealing in hatred. You hiding. You covering things up, but you still have that mental format of physically seeing certain things that you are acknowledging and saying, I'm still doing what's right. Please, ladies, don't sleep on Satan. Satan has the ability to blind you. And you don't know. Close your eyes and your eyes are wide open. You don't see things the way you should see. You don't see things the way the Lord tell you to see. You think you do, but you don't. You have drifted away. So now you need to make sure that as we walk, make sure your cords is being thickened with the people that are around you to show you what's right and what's wrong to help build you. So now, James 4. So be careful with how you go about things, what you're doing, your temptations. Stand strong. James 4 and verse 4. Read that.
James 4, chapter verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Ye adulterers and the adulteress, know ye not the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Enmity. Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity? What is enmity?
Ill will.
Hmm?
Ill will.
Ill will. What else?
Static.
Who?
Static.
Static. Is that what you said? Okay.
Vibration.
Friction, ill will. What else?
Dislike.
A dislike. Right. A strong dislike. A hatred. A deep, unfriendly feeling. So be careful when you going through temptation, when you looking on the outside, when you missing these friends and families, an enemy. So it says, know you not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God. You not putting away your lust and desires. You not putting away those things that's causing you to not apply the scriptures. The Lord said that's enmity. He hate that. He disliked that very much. So now, hold this, get Matthew 6. Matthew 6 and read verse hmm, um we'll get to the point. I'm not gonna yeah, 24. We'll get to the point.
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
No man can serve two masters.
No man can serve two masters. Go ahead.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
So now, either you're gonna do what the Lord say do, and you're gonna do wholeheartedly, or you're not. You can't do both. You're gonna love one and hate the other. And everybody's like, I love the Lord. So when you love the Lord, you gotta hate something else. And the hatred that you gotta have is for the world. It's for what you see. What you think is fun and okay to do, and oh, there's no problem with this, and there's no problem with that. What does the Lord say there's a problem with? That's what we have to figure out. And that's the part of, let me follow the master. What does he say do? So now, it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one, go ahead, and love the other,
or else he will hold to the one and despise the other.
or you're going to hold to the one and despise the other. So a lot of times, when we give place to our own feelings and our own way, we walk away from the Lord, which causes you to hate. Cover that hatred covered by deceit. And that hatred is you don't want somebody to say nothing to you. Nobody can direct you back on that right path, because what happens is you begin to try to hide your feelings and hide the way you really move. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this by myself. You know what they say, when you do something wrong, do it by yourself so you ain't got no witnesses, right? But not knowing that, remember, the Lord, he see everything, right?
Yes.
And so you begin to make decisions. This not that bad. I don't see nothing wrong with this. So then you begin to do it instead of taking counsel, because remember, you put into your mind, it's you. I got this. Pride. I don't need the help. I got this. I'm walking strong. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You deceived at that moment. And now you walking after the lust of the world, what you see with your eyes, how you feel, your emotions. But you still is covered by that deceit, because now you feel and you still think that you are walking truth, because you still cover your head, you still show up to class, you don't eat the unlawful foods, but it's your choices that you choose to make mentally that now you are being judged about. You got to be careful with that. So now it says, yes, ma'am.
So if it takes a spirit to even do those things, like knowing to be modest and knowing to keep the Sabbath and just the basic things that you know you're supposed to do, if you have to have the spirit to even want to do those things, how can you still be doing those things and still doing?
People do stuff out of repetition. The more you do it, the more it's a repetition. Just because you keep the Sabbath don't mean you're not defiling the Sabbath. People find little things inside of the Sabbath day and be like, oh, I don't think nothing wrong with this. But they keep the Sabbath. The part of the keeping of the Sabbath is they like, I ain't buying or selling. But there's little fine lines between it. Through recognition, you're like, okay, this right. Most people be like, I keep the Sabbath day because that give me a freedom from off work. It's the Sabbath. That's why I'm doing it. But then inside of it, they could be breaking it. So that's why I say you got to be careful, because you have people that know the law, but they could be breaking it. And that doesn't make them righteous because they know the law. They know what it says, but are they doing it? Just like the scribes and Pharisees. Christ said, listen to what they're saying. What they're saying is right, but do not after their works, because they wasn't doing what they were teaching. But they knew it. And in their mind, they thought they was right. So through repetition, we will do things. Like through repetition, sisters will, after a while, you know, if you was an individual that was struggling with wearing dresses, after a while, you're like, what sister in here is like, you know what, you don't have an issue with wearing a dress. You're like, it's a way of life now. You like, off the chopping block. You done learn how to style them up, do it, put it together, fringe it up. You like, boom, this is how it is. It's law. But your mental state, where's it? It's still after the world. You still struggling after other things. And just because you keep put on a dress, don't mean that you're righteous. And that the Spirit of the Most High. Remember, I don't know if he was on, we started off from the beginning. For the beginning, pride is the beginning of sin. Because in your mind, you think you got it. You won't allow the Lord to finish the situation. You still look confused.
I understand.
Oh, okay.
Completely.
It's the look on your face. I'm like, okay.
I don't know how to make them think,
All right.
but no.
So, where were we? Matthew 6 and 24. I'll read it from the top. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. That's the part of this, just like I was trying to explain. That's the two masters. You trying to keep the commandments, but then you still trying to have fun in the world and do certain things. You like, I'm restricted to this. No. Through pride, the Most High, once you get to that point to where you won't let the Most High guide you through people, it's a wrap. You're going to walk and do what you want to do regardless, and still have that light of, I'm keeping the commandments. But commandment keepers, those that's keeping the commandments truly from the beginning to the end, every dot, every tittle, going to see right through it. And the Spirit of the Most High is going to allow them to see. And you look like an open book. And that's why you have people come and say, that ain't the right choice. You shouldn't do that. And what happens after somebody comes to you and tell you what you shouldn't be doing? If the Spirit of the Most High is not there, off the chopping block, you're going to be offended. You're going to be quickly to have an attitude, quick to be offended, quick to be like, that's another indicator. Because you won't allow somebody to show you. Your cord is breaking. Because now you don't want to be a 3 cord. You want to be a lonely cord. You want to be you. And you separate yourself. See, those are all your doings. That's you. That's your choice. If you are that person, then get it together. The Most High is trying to show you, hey, you can't serve two masters. You're gonna love the one and hate the other. But the thing about it is that love the one and hate the other. You're like, I love the Lord. I just hate you. I don't like the person that's talking to me. I don't like what you're saying to me. I can deal with, I love the Lord, but not really realizing the person that's talking to you is talking from the Spirit of the Most High, because they coming out of the scriptures to tell you what you're doing. Now, who you love for real? Because it's your way that you think is right. Because if you was about the way of the Lord said, my sheep hear my voice. It doesn't matter who it come from. If they coming from the scriptures, you're like, dang, that's what you said? Let me, hold up. You're right, let me take that. So now, either you're gonna love the one and love and hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Holding on. Which one are you holding on to? Are you holding on to the Spirit of the Most High? Or are you holding on to the old person, to the old woman, to your way, what you think is right, how you feel comfortable? Remember, that temptation for righteousness' sake, oh, you're going to deal with that. You're going to endure. You're like, nope, even though it hurt. Even though it make you, ooh, nope. Bite that tongue, you're like, ooh. You cannot serve God and mammon. You can't serve the Most High and do what you want to do at the same time. It's no way. Luke 16. You can Luke 16. Go back to James 4. James 4 and verse 4.
Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Right. Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore will be friends of the world is an enemy of God.
Right. We're being a friend of the world. If things is comfortable, you're like, okay. Being in the world is comfortable. Being in your own way is comfortable. John 15. If you are comfortable with wrongdoing, you comfortable? John 15 and verse 19.
John chapter 15 and verse 19.
No, start at 17.
These things I command you, that ye love one another.
The Lord said, these things I command you, love one another. Keep the commandments towards one another. Correct each other when you have to. Show each other. To see the difference between correcting somebody out of the spirit and correcting somebody out of your way is why when we correcting each other, we feel some type of way. We shouldn't feel no type of way. It's a choice they making. Just say what you gotta say. Let the spirit speak and keep it moving. Baby, hope you get over it. Let's move on. Keep the commandments towards each other. Love each other. Hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Hey, you know what? This is what I think you should. This is, according to scriptures, this is what's there. Lay it out for them and let them make a choice. They don't make their choice anyway, right? But as a sister, let's help them make the right choice. Here, sister, listen. This is what the scriptures say. Go ahead. This, and the other. Remember, scripture says, my sheep hear my voice, right? So if they after the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, they're going to choose what's right. Don't need your extra feelings and emotions in it. So go ahead.
If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
Okay, where we at?
John 15,
18. Okay. If the world hate you, know that it hated me before it hated you. You getting pushback from people that you trying to show something to. Okay. They hate the Christ. Go ahead. Verse 19.
If you were of the world would love its own.
If you are of the world will love its own. Now, if you are in situations and everybody is loving on you, and now you changing, and you are covered by deceit, you hiding certain things, you need to do a mental thought. Or are you changing your ways and it's shifting to the ways of the people that you're surrounded? That's a problem. But if you are in that situation, in that realm, and the people around you are shifting to what's right, and you're doing what's right, keep it up. Because now they changing, they inquiring, they want to know, hey, what you do, how you do. You know what? Let me help you. Let me get you to where you need to be. Go ahead.
Because ye are not of the world.
Because you're not of the world. People not going to like what you do because you're not of the world. Go ahead.
But I have chosen you out of the world.
The Lord has chosen us out of the world. So if the Lord has chosen you out of the world to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, find out what is your responsibility and your duty in your chosenness. Figure out what the Lord chose you to do. He chose you to do something. He didn't just sit and choose us to wear head covers and wraps. Oh, he didn't just choose us to wear head covers, wraps, and be married. Because apparently that is the thing that we think, that that's all that we are here to do. No. You have a responsibility. Find out what it is. And in order to find out what it is, you have got to endure temptation. And enduring the temptation is talking about standing strong and stiffly for what's right and not allowing the situation and the circumstance to move you, but standing for what's right. Like you bite your tongue, you know how you don't scream, you just hold it there. You're like, even though it hurts so bad. The things that you go through gonna hurt so bad, but it's for your good. Figure out what the Lord is trying to do while you're going through your hurt, because it's a reason why you hurting. He's trying to make you stronger, make you better. Go ahead.
Therefore the world hate you.
Therefore the world gonna hate you. If you feeling that I am not I don't fit in with people at work. I don't fit in with my family no more. I don't fit in with the friends that I used to hang out with. Quit being sad about it. Count that joy. Because yeah, it hurts to lose family members. Yeah, it feels some type of way to lose friends. But it's a reason why you're losing those family and friends. Figure out why. Stand for the Lord. Okay, Lord, you taking these people from me. Okay, let me see what's up. Why? What am I doing? I go to work and I can speak to each and every last soul in there, everybody. But I find myself sitting at a table by myself. And then you get people to come and sit, and I'll be like, oh, okay. I'll be sitting there like, hey, the people I end up seeing, well, we ain't got nothing in common. We talk about chalk on the chalkboard. But everybody else, I just sit and be like, it will grieve me to sit at that table because you're going to talk about something that I can't deal with. And then you ain't gonna want me to correct you, so let me go on over here by myself. And anybody that comes sit next to me, if you're doing something wrong, I ain't gonna let you just do nothing wrong. I'm gonna say something. Hey, you know you shouldn't do that, right? That's not a good thing. But it don't bother me. If it's bothering you that you're not in that circle, examine yourself. So now, was that it?
Yep.
Okay. Now, Sirach 8. Sirach 8 in verse 15.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 8 and verse 15.
Mhm.
Travel not by the way with a bold fellow.
Travel not by the way with a bold fellow. What's a bold fellow? You know what that bold is interchangeable with? You know, you got some people be like, I'm bold.
Carefree.
Carefree. Okay.
Right.
Who?
Right.
Proud. Do anything. What else? Okay. They bold. They like, I'm confident. Like, it's me. Can't nobody stop them, talk to them, change them. None of that. They gonna be like, this is me. So it says, travel not by the way with the bold fellow. Go ahead.
Lest he become grievous unto thee.
Lest he become grievous unto thee. Now, when he become grievous unto you, you gonna do one thing. Either you gonna correct him or you gonna walk away. But go ahead.
For he will do according to his own will.
He gonna do what he want to do. And if you are a person that walks through pride because a person does what they want to do, read.
And thou shalt perish with him through his folly.
You're gonna continue to be there. And because you let that person do what they want to do, you're gonna fall through his folly, through his foolishness. Because you begin to adapt to what they doing. Now you like, second guessing. You don't want to correct. Yeah, you'll correct them. But are you confident in your correction? Then you get to the point of like, I ain't gonna say nothing else. I already told them. They let their boldness stick out. You're like, psh. But that's your friend. He's like, what's up? I ain't, psh. She know. Huh? Eventually, you're gonna start doing the same thing. So 1 Corinthians 15. Any questions? First Corinthians 15 and verse 33.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
Be not deceived.
Don't be tricked. Please don't be fooled. Go ahead.
Evil communications corrupt good manners.
It's only a matter of time. Why is that? Because from the beginning, you didn't endure temptation. Through your pride, you walked away from the Most High because you began to do things the way you want to do things. So now you have just made yourself vulnerable to Satan, which will put you in strongholds and now put you in situations to where you dealing with people, and through that, your evil communication is going to corrupt your good manners. You'll find yourself fumbling with the things that you used to stand stiff with and stand stiff for. Now it's becoming questionable. Well, I don't see this. Well, what's up with this? Oh, I'm doing what's right, because you fooled by your outward appearance, not really realizing It's something else that the Most High is showing you, that you're not doing what's right. 1 Peter 2. First Peter 2 and read verse 1.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice.
All malice. What's malice? That intention, evil intentions. Go ahead.
And all guile.
And guile. What's guile? Lying. See, you know what? There's a thin line between truth and lies. Let me help you out. I think we said this before. When you disclose half the truth, but then you cover the other part up and don't acknowledge it, it's not true. It's a lie. How can you get the proper help that you need if you do not disclose all truth? Therefore, you deem, that don't help me. That I tried, I'm applying the scriptures, but it don't work. Oh, it works. It's working towards whatever you revealed. But that other half that you won't reveal and you covered up, of course it ain't gonna work for that, because there's something else that needs to be taught for that. You just won't reveal it, so it can't help. It's just like telling somebody who have hatred, well, you know, sis, you ain't supposed to steal. What? How does that help? It won't. And it's still a lie. So it says, wherefore, laying aside all malice, those evil intentions. You know what? I'm gonna be truthful up to this point, and all guile. Go ahead.
And hypocrisy.
Saying one thing, you'll say, yep, shalom, yep, this right, but you're not doing it. Go ahead.
And envies.
And envies, and in the back of your mind, you jealous of certain things and individuals. Go ahead.
And all evil speaking.
And now it causes you to speak evil of what's right, because you feel it's not working for you, because you elect not to reveal all truth, all lies. Or else the scriptures wouldn't say that the scriptures break down all lies with thy word. Yes.
So it's malicious because when you aren't telling the full truth, and you're still trying to somewhat make the situation better than what it really is.
It's malicious because you are trying to fool the individual that's trying to help you by holding back and not being fully honest. Because in your mind somewhere you think that this person is going to look at you some type of way, this person is going to be judgmental in this type of way, then that means you don't fully trust in what thus says the Lord, because the scriptures tell us to be, not to judge, not to be hateful, not to look at our brothers in no type of way or our sisters in no type of way. You don't trust the scriptures. So then you maliciously, intentionally hold back, which is no profit unto you, because then you still having an issue that you battle, and you ain't fully got the help that you need, because you won't be forthcoming to the person that's set in your place, set in front of you to help you through that thing. Because do you know, I have dealt with so many sisters to the point to where sometimes they'll be like, hey sis, remember that situation I talked to you about? I'll be like, no, not really. Help me refresh my memory on what we're talking about. Because Once I deal with you with that situation, it's it. Why am I still holding on to what you did? I can't do that. That's not scriptural. So if I don't remember, it ain't because I don't love you as a sister. It's not for me to hold on to it. It's for me to deal with it, get rid of it, help you through that situation. Boom, we moving on to the next thing. But if you are continually dealing with situations over and over and over, that's because you have not, what the scriptures say, you have not confessed and forsaken. You still hold on. And the longer you hold on, baby, time ticking, you wasting time. It already take a moment to get through one thing. You ain't gonna get over nothing overnight. Time is ticking. You don't know when your time is going to be called. Quit playing with the Lord. So now, it says, wherefore laying aside all malice, all guile, hypocrisy, envies, and all evil speakings. Doing those things, you begin to speak evil. The scriptures do not work. They do. That's speaking evil. Because now it's causing you to result to your own way. That's not good. He said, let that go. Wherefore, lay all of that aside. Read.
As newborn babes.
Come as a newborn baby. When a baby come, you got to teach the baby everything from scratch, from the beginning to the end. Everything. Everything a child do, they have learned it from somebody. It says, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word. Desire that milk, the beginning, the foundation to your walk. Go ahead.
That you may grow thereby.
You're not going to grow if your foundation ain't right. If your foundation is built on deceit, lies, and malice, you not going to grow. Desire the sincere milk of the word. Go back to the beginning. Go back to what we want to call, quote unquote, the basic. You're not going to understand strong meat until you can understand what the true bottom line foundation is. Sincere milk. You're not going to get it. That you may grow thereby. That's just like everybody like, I want to go back. You know, I go up and down the timeline. People be like, you know what? This adulting ain't right. I want to go back and be a child. This is overrated. But at once upon a time, you wanted to be a grown-up so bad. You want to do grown folk stuff. Until you hit that fork in the road, you be like, hold on, wait a minute now. Didn't nobody tell me it was going to be like that? Of course not. You jumped out there. And the people that was telling you, whoa, hold up, take time. You like, I got this. Pride. Okay. Same situations here in this truth. Pride. You don't want to take counsel. You want to do it your way. You gonna see. We need each other. Because those threads of cords that we have, we need to strengthen them to some steel pipes. You can't break that too easy. So, any more questions? Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Last but not least, Hebrews 2. Hebrews 2 and verse 1.
Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 1. Therefore, we ought to give the most earnest heed to the things which we have heard.
Right. So therefore, we ought to give, put it in your mind to give the more earnest heed. Open up your ears and listen. Go back and truly listen and follow. It's like listening to a song and you're trying to captivate all of the words so that you'll know this song from the beginning to the end. Go back to the basics and learn and give heed to the things that you are already taught to make sure that your foundation is truly solid. And find out if you are tripping and stumbling, what are you tripping and stumbling over? What is the problem? What's there? If you're not growing, if you're not moving forward, go back, figure it out, and listen to why. What are you missing? What have you missed? Go back and get it. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard. Go ahead.
Least at any time we should let them slip.
Least at any time ye shall let them slip. You get into a situation and you do not know what to do because it's not there. It's not grounded. You forgot. You figured you tried to come about it a different way. You chose to do it your way. You chose to do it without that threefold cord. You tried to do it watered down version to help you be comfortable and not have to endure those tests and trials, those tribulations. So, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
When we were going over James 4:4, and he was talking about being comfortable. How do you know when you're exactly comfortable? Like, what does that look like, as you were saying? Is it just more so connection to what the other question I was asking? And I was like, you will still be applying some scriptures like dress and modest and all that stuff, but you won't know that you're comfortable. How am I trying to word this? Hold on. I guess my question is just, how do you know when you are comfortable? What is
Comfortable with other people, comfortable with your own way, because you won't change it. That's what we was talking about in there. So James 4:4, it says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity of the Most High? If you are comfortable in situations to where people are not doing the right thing,
Oh, I see. Okay.
now you understand.
Yeah.
You need to check yourself, because it should kind of make you be like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Right. Okay. I think I might missed something earlier when you were saying, but when you just said that, I'm like, oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Okay. And then if you comfortable with the way that you want to do things and you don't want to change because you don't see, I don't see what I'm doing is wrong, and someone is trying to show you to better you, to better yourself, to help you stay on the path of righteousness, because the path is the Lord, and you like, oh, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You enmity the world. Something has captivated your attention that's causing you to like, ain't nothing changed. I don't feel no problem. You're like,
How do you get to that point though?
being deceived.
Just
You don't see. You won't allow somebody to help you see. You making choices according to how you feel or what's comfortable for you. So the spirit of the Most High is not there. Remember, in the beginning it said the pride is the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But pride comes when you depart from your maker, when you turn and not take what's right, and you don't apply what's given to you right in the way it is. You find a way to kind of cushion it, or more easy for you.
Yeah, to fit your narrative.
Right.
What you think.
To fit your narrative, correct. But then you don't really realize that you walked away from the Lord, because the Lord like, that ain't what I told you to do.
Understood.
All right. Any more questions? Make sure ain't no questions on here. All right. So all praises to the Most High through Yahweh Shai. All praise. I'm glad you sisters enjoyed it. I'm glad at least one person got something out of it. All praises to the Most High. So once again, thank you, ladies, for coming out. Same time, same place. Next Shabbat, here again, Central Time, 10 a.m. Make sure you ladies come back to join the Elder Shamshawan in the Sabbath service, 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Again, thank you, ladies, for coming out and taking the time, joining. Make sure you ladies share the video. If there is anybody who cannot get on the live, they can always go back and listen. It'll be uploaded onto Jules Yahweh Shai's page. And then also YouTube. This class has been recorded on YouTube, so you definitely can go back and see it again. So all praises to the Most High, to Yahweh Shai. I'll say Shalom, ladies.
Shalom.
You ladies are more than welcome. All praises. Well, hey there, hey there. Hey, Miss Thrifton. Hey, Donna. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Ada. Hey, Marion. All right. Thank you, ladies. And like I said, make sure you share it. All right. Shalom. Make sure. Shalom. Hey, Miss Sheila. And anybody else that's on the YouTube platform, thanks for coming out. You all have a good day. Make sure you come back and join the Elder Shamshawan for the Sabbath service. Shalom.